Revenge films.
My name is Ariel, and I live with my mother and older sister. My father passed away when I was a young child. For some time, I had a full-time job which required me to commute to work every day by train. But I had a tough time doing that, and so I decided to find a new job which would allow me to work from home. I found working from home much more comfortable, and I was enjoying my new job. In my new job, I was my own boss, and so I didn't have to deal with any difficult bosses or annoying colleagues. And the best part of it all was that the company that I worked for appreciated what I did, and I was soon promoted and even got a pay rise. The only problem I had was at home. My mother and sister didn't believe that I had a significant career which allowed me to work from home. But part of the reason was because we lived in the countryside and there wasn't anyone else in town like me. And some of my neighbors seemed to think that I was unemployed because I never left the house. My mother and sister were concerned about the way the neighbors were talking about me, and they urged me to get a proper job.
Ariel, when are you gonna get a real job? All you do is laze around the house all day. You're an embarrassment to the family.
You just don't get it. I have a prestigious job which pays me well, and a luxury of working from the comfort of my own home.
I don't believe any of that.
Because you never leave the house, our neighbors seem to think that you're living off of my money, and I'm really embarrassed about it. Your sister has a full-time job. Why can't you be more like her? All you do is sit in front of your computer all day long doing God knows what. You're a disgrace to the family, and we'd like you to move out of this house. In the beginning, my mother and sister insisted that I get a real job, but now they were both trying to kick me out of the house. I don't mind living on my own, but I loved this house. The house that used to be my grandmother's, and I had so many beautiful memories of her here. I didn't enjoy being abused by my mother and sister, but I was reluctant to move out of the house that I loved so much. One day, I received a phone call from one of my clients requesting a face-to-face business meeting with me, so I was going to leave the house and go out for this meeting. I had to take a plane to get to the place of meeting, which required me to stay the night. I had a friend that lived close by, and she kindly offered me to let me stay at her place. When I told my mother and sister that I would be gone for 2 full days of work,
Oh, that sounds great. You're finally going to get some real work done.
good luck with your client meeting. It was kind of creepy that the two of them were acting so supportive all of a sudden. I wondered if something had changed, but I told myself that there was no point in me thinking about it any further. My client meeting went well, and I was assigned to the new project.
This is a big project, and we're really counting on you. You'll be compensated well for your services. I'm glad that we're able to speak in person today. That's how much this project means to us.
Thank you very much for this big opportunity. I'm going to work hard and make this project a big success.
I know that you will. I hope that you get to spend more time in this area and enjoy the local food and landmarks. You are very talented. We're always talking about how we'd love for you to join our company as a full-time employee. The job will come with a lot of perks, I assure you.
Thank you for the offer. The job sounds amazing, but I'm really loving the fact that I get to work from home right now.
I see. That makes sense. Well, I guess we'll just need to keep hiring you for our services then.
Yes, thank you. After my meeting, I got in touch with my friend Sarah, who's letting me stay at her place for the night. I just finished my client meeting. Would it be okay for me to head to your place now?
Of course! I'll be waiting for you. I'm so excited to see you.
It was great seeing my friend Sarah. We talked about our fun memories together from university throughout the evening. Sarah had 2 beautiful daughters who were both so adorable.
I feel so bad about the way your mother and sister treat you. They haven't changed at all. I never understood why your mother favors your sister over you.
I know, it sucks for me.
If I were you, I'd move out ASAP. I can understand how you'd feel want to hold on to your memories of your grandmother, but you can still remember her from your new place.
You're absolutely right. My grandmother was the only one that was nice to me in our family. I miss her so much. My grandmother knew that my mother favored my sister, so she would make time for me and do things that made me happy to make up for it, I guess. I have fond memories of me and her going to cafes together.
Your grandmother must have loved you so much. I hate that your own mother and sister are being so horrible to you.
I shouldn't let them treat me like this, but they ganged up on me and it's just not fair.
I wouldn't be surprised if they were packing up your stuff as we speak and getting ready to kick you out of the house.
They better not do that to me. They were so unusually nice to me when I left the house, which was creepy. Sarah and I stayed up until midnight talking. It was so nice to catch up with her. When I returned home from my business trip, I was very shocked. Where did all my stuff go? Sarah was right. My mother and sister had packed all of my stuff and put their belongings in my bedroom. This is awful! How could they do this to me? My mother and sister came into my room with sinister smiles.
We had a lot of stuff, so we decided to use your bedroom as storage for our belongings.
Where did all my stuff go? What did you do with my computer and their heirlooms from Grandma?
Oh, that garbage. We sold all your stuff to a thrift shop. Your computer was relatively valuable, but Grandma's heirlooms didn't sell for a high price.
Now that you understand that we have no room for you in this house, you should get ready to move out. My mother then headed over to a suitcase full of clothes for me.
You don't deserve to live with us until you get a real job like me.
I was furious with both of them, and my face turned red in anger. Fine, I'll move out. Are you happy now? I stormed out of the house with a suitcase that my mother had given me. My mother and sister were elated.
Don't ever show your face here again.
I hope you enjoy living all by yourself. I went to the thrift shop that my mother and sister had sold all my stuff to and bought everything back. I was lucky because the store owner hadn't deleted the data from the computer yet, and he hadn't put any of the items up for sale. I then found an apartment that would allow me to move in right away, and had the movers bring over all my stuff. I was most pissed off by the fact that my mother and sister sold my grandma's heirlooms. I was thinking about how I could teach those two a lesson from what they had done to me. A month went by. As I predicted, I received a phone call from my sister.
Ariel, how come there is no money in our bank accounts? Did you steal all of our money?
Why would I do such a stupid thing? Don't you know that you and Mom were living off the money that I earned with my job?
What? I thought Mom was paying for everything.
Why would you think that? Her mom doesn't even work. She's living off her pension. Where did she get that kind of money? It turned out that my sister assumed that my mother was paying all of the bills, and my mother assumed that my sister was paying them. In reality, I was the one paying for everything, and they had no idea. My mother lives off her pension, and my sister has a job, but she wasn't putting any money into the household. It was obvious to me that this would happen.
How were you paying all the bills without a proper job?
You and Mom are the only ones that seem to think so. I have a great job which allows me to work from home. You two just don't seem to get that. I earn more than an average person.
You must be joking. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm not. I only put up with living with you and Mom because I loved that house. It reminds me of all the happy times that I had with Grandma. But when you sold off her heirlooms, that was the last straw.
Who's gonna pay the bills then?
Well, you have Mom's pension and you work full time. So I'm sure that you two can figure something out.
No way! I don't earn that much money. You can't do this to us. I use the money to buy things that I need. I don't have money to be paying bills. You should send us some money.
Why in the world would I do that? I don't live in that house anymore. I have no obligation to pay the bills. By the way, you're going to get a huge bill for the house repair soon. I paid for everything up until now, and I took great care of the house because I loved it, but not anymore. I'm going to find a new way to honor Grandma. I had the roof repaired, so I think the bill will be around 10 grand.
I don't have that kind of money, and you're being ridiculous.
After that, I received a phone call from my mother as well. She demanded that I pay her an allowance since I was making good money. I blocked her number then and there. A few months passed and I heard that my mother and sister couldn't afford to pay the property taxes of the house and that they were evicted. They desperately tried to get in touch with me, but I was long gone. My new place was nowhere near where they lived. As for my grandmother's house, I made the tax payments that would do, and I inherited the property. But I didn't live there because I knew that if I did, my mother and sister would come see me. I decided to rent the house to someone that would take good care of it. My sister was a big money spender, so when she got her credit card bills, she couldn't pay them off. She was forced to live in a shabby one-bedroom apartment with our mother and couldn't spend her money freely anymore. Because she couldn't pay her credit card bills, the credit card company deactivated all her cards. She is now living a frugal life and working hard to pay off her debts.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.